do your homework tonight. You flip over your notes. Let's go to the back side here. Example number 1. They want you to classify the angle by angles and sides. Classify angles and sides. So you need 2 terms here. If you are going to classify by angles here, well, look at your angles. You have 37 degrees, which is acute. You have 55 degrees, which is also acute, but right there at angle A, 88 degrees is also, that's right, acute. So if all 3 corners are acute, we're going to classify it as an acute triangle. Well, then we also need to classify this by sides. If all 3 corners are different sizes, well then all 3 sides will also be different sizes. Okay, so that kind of goes together. All 3 are different, well then all 3 sides are different, which means that the best classification here is going to be scaling. All 3 sides are different lengths. Okay, so anytime they say classify, that's what you're doing. Pull out of those 2 little groups and give me a name by angles and a name by sides. Example 2. Sometimes, always, never questions. Use your brain, your knowledge of triangles, to come up with the best word that would fit in here. In part A, an obtuse triangle is blank, an isosceles triangle. Well, an obtuse angle, remember that's greater than 90, well, sometimes, yeah, it could be an isosceles triangle. And sometimes, oh, maybe not so much. So, sometimes is the best word here, okay? Yes, it could be, and no, it couldn't be. If you've got that kind of, well, sometimes maybe, but sometimes. In part B, the acute angles of a right triangle are blank complementary. Well, we just learned a corollary that said, yeah, in a right triangle, your acute angles are always going to be complementary. That is your corollary to the triangle sum theorem. Again, go through your knowledge and kind of, whittle it down, look at all cases to get the best term. Example 3, measurements. Okay, they want us to find the measure of all of our numbered angles. All right, so we've got a lot going on in here, and actually, I oopsed and I forgot a measurement. So first, before we kind of figure this out, I want you to go above angle 1 and 3, this little exterior angle here, make it 150 degrees. That'll help us kickstart finding all our different angle measures. And I'm going to take them, hopefully, in order here. I'm going to start with the measure of angle 1, which is right here on the left. Angle 1 and my 150, they make a linear pair. A linear pair makes a straight line. They measure 180. So if I do 180 minus the 150, angle 1 will be the remaining 30 degrees. Okay, you can even write it in your picture if you like that as well. Well, if angle 1 is 30 degrees, let's go in order here. Let's move to angle 2. Angle 2 is the third angle in the right triangle on the left side of the picture. Well, the corollary to the triangle sum theorem says the 2 acute angles of a right triangle are complementary. So angle 1 and angle 2, if they're complementary, they add to 90. If I subtract angle 1, which is 30 degrees, then 60 degrees remains for angle 2, 60 degrees. All right, let's go and move on to the measure of angle 3. Well, angle 3 and angle 1 in our lovely little bow tie picture, those are vertical angles, which we know are congruent. So angle 3 will also be 30 degrees. Again, that's because of our vertical angle theorem. and the measure of angle 4. Well, 4 in our picture over here, we know 3 is 30 degrees. Oh, let me get my pen right here. 30, there we go. We've got a 40 degrees, and then lonely little angle 4. The triangle sum theorem, they all add to 180. So go backwards. 180 minus angle 3, which is 30 degrees, minus the given 40 degrees. When you subtract, you are left with 110 degrees for angle 4. Playing around with triangle sums. Example 4. They want us to find the measure of the exterior angle shown. Well, that is your key phrase. If you are finding an exterior angle, you need the exterior angle theorem, which says your exterior angle, which is 2x minus 11, will be equal to the sum of the two non-adjacent interiors. So I've got an x plus 72. Those are our two interior parts, okay? Exterior, again, let me underline here. Exterior minus the two interior added together. And then, yes, you do need to solve as well. Well, let's get our x's on one side of the problem here. I minus an x over to the left, which gives me x. If I add my 11 to the right, that will be 83. So x is 83. Now, be careful with this one, because we are not done. That is just x. They want the entire measure of the exterior angle. So we have to plug this back in. Okay? The exterior angle was 2x minus 11. Well, we just found x to be 83. And if you do 2 times 83, then minus 11, if you're fancy, you can do it all on your calculator at once. You get 155 degrees. And that right there, I'll put little red stars next to it, that is your final answer. Be really careful on those that you plug it back in to find the actual whole angle measure. All right. We'll keep moving here. Example 5. Ooh, this one we may have to make our own picture for. The measure of one acute angle of a right triangle is 5 times the measure of the other acute angle. Find the measure of each acute angle. Now they are giving us good clues in here. Let's kind of pick it apart. We have an acute angle of a right triangle. Ooh, that right away, I can draw a right triangle. That's an easy little clue. Now one acute angle is 5 times the measure of the other one. Now again, we don't know what these are, so let's make one x, and the other one, if it's 5 times, we'll make the other one 5x. And that gives us a nice little picture. And we need to find what all these angle measures are. Well, the acute angles of a right triangle are complementary. So x plus our 5x will equal 90 degrees. Well, that together makes 6x if you combine like terms. And if you divide by 6, x is going to equal 15. Now again, beware here. They want the measure of each acute angle. So let's kind of give them names here. We'll call this 1 and this one 2. The measure of angle 1, well, if we found x to be 15, will be 15 because it's x. And the measure of angle 2, which is 5 times x, 5 times 15 is going to give us a measure of 75 degrees. And this over here, there's both of your angle measures. Now you are finally finished with that problem. Again, Beware, make sure you're plugging your variables back in to solve for the whole angles. And last but not least, proofs. They are not going away. Okay, we're still going to see them a little bit in this unit. Okay, they have a 2-column proof of the triangle sum theorem that they would like us to finish. Now we are given triangle DOG, and all they did there for that is they just drew it down here in our picture. Okay, triangle DOG. We also know that DG is parallel to OA. That is the first thing given in our proof. Okay, given always goes in there first. Now they're helping us out on this one. The measure of angle 1, okay, angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 equals 180 degrees. Well, yeah, the 3 angles over here on the left really are making a straight line. Notice they are adding angles. This is our angle addition postulate, or AAP. Again, if you forget what that stands for, angle addition postulate. Anytime you add angles, angle addition postulate. Now, number 3 is saying that angle 1 is congruent to angle 4, and angle 3 is congruent to angle 5. Let me erase my marks here so we don't get confused. Okay, let's show these in here. Angle 1 and angle 4. Okay, they're saying that those two are congruent. Let's give them matching marks. Well, they are between our given parallel lines. Remember, the top is parallel to the bottom here. That was given. So those angles would make really nice alternate interior angles. And the other pair, angle 3 and angle 5, those are also alternate interior angles because we were given the parallel lines first. We are proving congruent angles. You got to throw theorem on the back end of your reason. Alternate interior angle theorem. Well, okay, step 4. They're cluing you in to the definition of congruent. Remember, that changes congruent signs to equal signs and back and forth. In step 3, we had congruent signs. So we're going to make them equals. And when you talk equals, you're talking more about the measurements. So I'm going to say the measure of angle 1 equals the measure of angle 4. And the measure of angle 3 equals the measure of angle 5. Okay. Congruent is talking more about the angles themselves. Equals is more the measurements. So that's why I put M's in front. And finally, step 5, all along we were trying to prove the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 4 plus the measure of angle 5 equals 180 degrees. Step 5 is very similar to step 2. I am replacing my angles with their equal parts. Replacement means I'm using a little substitution property of equality down there. For your homework tonight, you will have very similar problems. Classifying, finding angle measurements. You may have to use those new theorems a little bit tonight as well. And yes, you may see the occasional straight proof. Again, if this was a little fast for you guys today, that's okay. I'm going to put this video, the link to it, on my website, and you can watch it again at home if you need to. I will see you when I get back. Bye.